Hey, today I'm going to walk you through 6 steps that your medical practice can take to optimize itself for Google's voice search. Now, the first one is PageSpeed. So what you want to do is just literally Google PageSpeed tool, or Google, PageSpeed Google, and you'll see PageSpeed Insights come up right here. You're going to type in your domain, your website, and then click Analyze. And Google will give you exact steps that you can forward to your internal team or your agency or your developer to make your website faster. Now, I think on average, the average website, it loads in about 8.8, 8.9 seconds. If you load about 4.5 seconds or less time, then you have a much higher chance of being part of the Google voice search. There's also been a plethora of Google algorithm updates over the past few months. This is 2018, and it's basically all been tapered towards page speed. So this is probably one of the most important things you should be doing to your website at this very moment. Number 2 is HTTPS. So when you load your website, look up at the browser and make sure that this up here says HTTPS, and if you're in Chrome it says secure. If not, it says not secure right here, and it's a signal back to Google that your website is not secure. Being in the medical space, I feel like that has more weight than a basic, normal website like a plumber, because there's a lot of sensitive medical information that may be transferred over the internet. So having that S in your HTTPS is very important. You want to get with, again, the agency that helps you with your website, or if you are on GoDaddy, there's a really easy way to add that S onto your HTTP. No matter what type of practice you are a part of, you want to make sure that you have long and short answers on your website. So this is number 3 out of 6. You want to make sure that you have a long form page but short answers. And the reason why you want to have these short answers is because Google has literally said we like taking about 30 words or less and using that as the answer for Google voice search. Now, this is an example of an OBGYN website, a Google, or this is actually a school, but OBGYN FAQ section. You can see here that their answers are straight and to the point. Google has also said that you want to keep it to a really simplistic level, like at a 9th grader level. I know that being part of medical practices, you may not be able to get that basic with some of the content, but try to focus on keeping it really simple to understand and keep it about 30 or less words. Number 4 out of 6 is going to be your domain authority. So in the example before, and this is actually not a client of mine, but the smiledesign.com, go use a tool like SEMrush.com. There's tons of them out there. It's Google backlink analysis, but we use SEMrush here at my company, and click on backlinks. And this is a huge indicator to Google saying that this is a valued resource for me to take some information from those 30 words or less answers and plop them into Google Voice Search. So you want to go to backlinks here. And take a look at some of the authority of your website, some of the backlinks pointing to your domain. Just click on backlinks here. And you can see that this website has a decent amount of backlinks, actually 743. And you can see some of them here are from some reputable sources. This is actually a Pinterest backlink. This is a Hope Totes, Dr. Brett Moore, Smile Design Dentistry of somewhere else. So maybe it's a franchise. Another blog post here. This is a brand new one. So this is actually a directory, third-party directory. So again, you want to make sure that your backlink profile has a lot of healthy, reputable websites pointing to your main domain and even some subpages inside your site. Number 5 out of the 6 is going to be social sharing. Now, Google has literally said that we don't use social signals as a part of our algorithm, especially for Google Voice Search. But if you have a piece of content, it's kind of correlated. So if you do have a piece of content on your website that is attractive, it's sexy, it's shareable, and it does get shared across the internet quite a bit, regionally and locally, then there's a good chance that Google's going to take notice of that those backlinks pointing to your main domain, and then help you maybe even use some of that content or related content on your website as part of the Google voice search algorithm results pages. So what you want to do is create a utility that's attractive to your prospects, to people that are not part of your practice yet, very top of the funnel type of thing. And you can see one thing I did at my company is I created a SEO return on investment calculator that I've linked below as well. All you have to do is download it, and we've actually seen this shared quite a bit throughout the internet. And believe it or not, this page, it's /SEO ROI calculator on my website, it's already ranking on the first page of Google. So definitely something to consider, creating a piece of, we call it a utility, or something that people that are not part of your practice, that would be potentially patients for your practice, could use before they even step foot in your office. And lastly, on your website, you want to make sure you have long-form content. I call them pillar pages, so does HubSpot. Here's a diagram of what HubSpot kind of shows you what a pillar page looks like. So if you're an OBGYN, if you're an orthodontist, you can have a very generic high-level page like what is orthodontist here, and make sure that page within itself is about 2,000 to 3,000 words in length. And then you can have a lot of other supplementary pages like additional FAQs, maybe break down the topic of your practice a little more granular. You can get more granular, and go granular. But you can see how, like, what is orthodontist, what is what is root canal, what is this, and you can turn this middle page right here into a 200, 300,000 word piece of content. Again, this is right in line with what Google wants you to do. It's called a pillar page or long form content. You want to make sure that you have hub and spoke model pages or pillar pages throughout your website. Doing these things, you're going to find that your practice is just going to get more calls and more form fills anyway, but you're putting yourself in a really good spot to become part of Google's voice search capabilities. Hope you have a great day, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at the information below. Bye.